Installing piston rings might look simple, and it actually is, but getting it wrong can cost you power, cause oil burning, and even destroy an engine. In this video, I'll show you how to correctly measure piston ring gap, adjust it, and install the rings on a Ford 351 Windsor so the engine runs strong and lasts. Today we're going to go through the proper way to measure, adjust, and install piston rings on a Ford 351 Windsor V8 engine, but this will work on most other engines. This will include checking piston ring end gap, adjusting the gap if necessary, installing the rings in the piston, and also explaining why this process is so important for engine performance and longevity. Correct piston ring installation directly affects compression, oil control, power output, and engine life. And skipping these steps or doing them incorrectly can lead to poor performance, excessive oil consumption, or even engine damage. The piston rings perform three critical jobs. The top ring seals combustion pressure so the engine can make power. The second ring controls pressure, but it also helps manage oil. And the third ring, the oil ring, removes excess oil while leaving a thin lubricating film. Together they control compression, they manage oil, and they transfer heat from the piston to the cylinder wall. Before measuring the ring gap, the ring must sit perfectly square in the bore. You can use a piston to push it in evenly or a dedicated tool, but for this build, I 3D printed a puck with a shoulder that bottoms out on the deck, so every ring sits at the same depth, perfectly perpendicular. Once the ring is square, measure the gap with a feeler gauge. Even though these rings are sold as pre-fit, you should always check them. Always follow the manufacturer's specification. For this set, the top rings require a minimum gap of 18 thousandths. For a street engine, I allow an extra 3 thousandths, so an acceptable range is 18 to 21 thousandths. That's 0.018 to 0.021 inches. These top rings are already in spec and didn't need adjustment. Even though these rings were sold as pre-fit, this is why you have to check them. These second rings needed adjustment. With a target of 20 to 23 thousandths, they were on the tight side. If I had not checked this width with feeler gauges, I could have installed these with too small of a gap. And when that happens, as the rings expand when the motor heats up, the ends of the rings can actually touch each other, and then at that point they can't expand anymore and they can crack or break your piston. When adjusting your piston ring gap, you can use a file or you can use a grinder. In this case, I'm using a manual grinder that I picked up from Amazon.com. I'll leave a link in the description below. You're only going to want to grind one side of the ring gap and leave the other side untouched. That allows you to check the ends of the ring to make sure they stay parallel. After grinding, squeeze the ring and look through the gap. The light should be even across the gap. Apply light side pressure to hold the ring against the wheel. Make sure the wheel rotates into the outside face of the ring so it doesn't chip the edge that contacts the cylinder wall. Remove small amounts at a time and recheck the gap. Each time you're checking for both size and parallelism. As an expert tip, you'll probably want to deburr the ends of the ring that you ground lightly with a file and keep each ring matched to the cylinder that it was measured in. As you probably noticed, I'm piling the rings up on my bench exactly the way they are in the block. So it's very, very important to keep those rings that you've sized for each individual bore exactly in the bore that they came out of. So now moving on to the oil rings, they also need to be checked. It's not quite as important for checking those. There's a minimum gap of 15 thousandths, or 0.015 inches. And it is important that there is a gap there at least that size. The gap is much less likely to close up due to the fact that the oil ring is much, much cooler because it's further from the combustion chamber. Okay, now let's slow down and go step by step through installing the oil control ring. This consists of 3 pieces, the expander and 2 rails. Start with the expander. Slowly spiral it on and place it in the groove and make sure the ends butt together, not overlap. Next, install the upper rail by spiraling it on gently. Do not overstretch it. Then install the lower rail exactly the same way. Once it's installed, check that the expander ends still are butted. The rails are fully seated and nothing is twisted. Then, with your fingernails, position the gaps so they're spread apart, not aligned. I'm not going to give you an angle because these rings honestly rotate as the motor is running. So here's where many common mistakes are made. This is where many first-time builders run into problems. If the expander overlaps and the oil rings won't scrape oil correctly, and the engine will burn oil immediately and smoke. If the rails are twisted or not seated, the oil can pass into the combustion chamber. Overstretching the rails reduces the tension, which also leads to oil consumption. If the gaps line up, oil can pass straight through and a lot of oil can be consumed. This step can make or break the DIY engine build. You can do everything else right, but if the oil ring isn't installed correctly, the engine can still burn oil, smoke, and require a teardown. And you won't know until it's already running. Next, you'll install the second compression ring. This is top etched onto it, so that side faces up during installation. When installing compression rings, it's best to use the plier style ring installer tool. I'll noted that in the Amazon cart in the description below. This tool expands the ring evenly and helps prevent twisting and overstressing the ring during installation. Carefully open the ring just enough to slide over the piston and not scratch it, and then drop into the correct groove. Avoid overexpanding the rings, as this can distort it and affect how it seals in the cylinder. Now install the top compression ring. And these top rings do not have a marking, which means they're symmetrically even and can install in either direction. But if your ring has a dot or a dimple, that mark should always face upward. Finally, once all the rings are inserted, position the ring gaps around the piston so they are spaced around, we'll say 120 degrees apart. This helps prevent combustion pressure and oil from passing straight into those gaps during the break-in process. Taking the time to measure, adjust, and install your piston rings correctly is one of the most important steps in building a reliable engine. Do it right, and you'll get better compression, better oil control, and a longer lasting build. If you found this helpful, follow along for more engine building and machining tips. Thanks for watching my video, and hopefully this helped you and allows you to install your own piston rings and pistons in your Ford motor or other similar older motors. Thank you.